What is going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. This is the channel where we sit down and cover different comic book stories from Marvel, DC, and even IDW as well. We are going to jump back over to DC Comics and cover the second half of the first volume of Catwoman's latest comic book series. This volume is called Copycat. But in this video, the name of the volume has nothing to do with the story really, except we do learn a little bit more about the origin of Maggie Kyle in the new era of DC Comics. And so if you like today's comic book video, please leave me a like down below and also subscribe for more content to come in the near future. But I do hope you enjoy today's video. Now, starting off with this video, we pick up where our last video left off at, where we saw Selina Kyle meeting up with her sister Maggie Kyle. Now, we also learned that Maggie Kyle is in some kind of psych ward, but we learned that when Maggie and Selina were young, they had a hard life, but growing up, they went down two different paths, where we know that Selina's path was more on the side of bad, and her sister Maggie was on the side of good. Where Maggie was a nun at a young age, and after being a nun, Maggie met her husband and was living a peaceful life on her own and away from her sister Selina. Except we learned that after getting married, Maggie and her husband were kidnapped by Black Mask because he was trying to get to Selina Kyle. Now, the reason why Black Mask was going after Selina Kyle is not important. Just know that Black Mask basically killed Maggie's husband Simon in front of Maggie, and it broke her mind. Black Mask even made Maggie eat his eyes too. The shock of watching her husband die in front of her and eating part of his eyes broke her. Now she's in some kind of psych ward because she went insane. And Catwoman feels bad because thanks to her, her sister is locked up in here on meds to keep her calm. Now, the story does jump back even farther back in time when Selina and Maggie were kids, and we pick up with Selina and Maggie trying to celebrate Halloween. But since their parents were broke, they could not afford to buy Halloween costumes. But we see Selina steal outfits for them to celebrate Halloween just once. Now, Selina Kyle lied to her sister saying that the owner of the shop gave her outfits to wear as long as they give them back before the end of the night. Now, while they were celebrating Halloween, they bump into some bullies who are running away from one guy. These bullies just stole this random kid's bag of candy he got from going out for Halloween. But while they were running away, they bump into Maggie and Selina. And so you have Selina and Maggie decide that they need to fix this issue. And so you have them follow the bullies and the kid who just lost his bag of candy to a random construction site. And when Selina and Maggie catch up and look at the top level, they see the bullies are about to make this random kid fall to his death. And so you have Selina decide to step in. Except we learn that she also stole something else from the shop owner. Besides just stealing the costumes, we come to find out that she stole a gun as well. And she uses the gun to scare the bullies to stop them from what they were doing. Now the bullies do stop, but the thing is Selina could have gotten someone killed. And then if the police had arrived, Selina pulls her innocent sister into a bunch of mess. And so this part is showing that Selina is always pulling her sister into something that could ruin both of their lives. Now back to the present day, we pick up with Selina Kyle still talking to her sister. Remember, her sister went insane and now she is locked up in some kind of psych ward. But that is when the door opens up and Selina has to hide. And we see that it is Dr. Finneck. And remember, this doctor is working for Raina Krill, who is the main bad guy in this volume. And we learned that Dr. Finneck was able to get the psych ward to let him come in here and do some work on Maggie Kyle. And we see that Dr. Finneck is about to give Maggie the drug that has been moving around the city of Villa Hermosa that gives people enhanced strength and durability. This is where we do get a couple pages of two things happening at the same time again. One of them is Selina Kyle, who is Catwoman, stopping Dr. Finette from injecting the drug into Maggie Kyle's body. While the other scene is Raina Krill, who is injecting the drug into her husband's body. Remember, in our last video, we saw Raina Krill was about to inject Edmund with the drug. Something else to remember is that you are only supposed to take a small dose of the drug, and that is it. Taking a high dose of the drug can kill you. And so with these two things happening at the same time, you have Catwoman being able to stop Dr. Finette, and you have Raina being able to give Edmund the drug. Something else to point out is that Dr. Finette does tell Catwoman that it was Raina Krill who sent him here. Then we get another few pages where we see the aftermath of those things happening at the same time. The screams of Raina Krill pretending to be so shocked that her husband killed himself by cutting himself over and over again with a piece of glass made the security team run upstairs to see her. For Selina Kyle, the sounds of her throwing Dr. Finette all over the place, the hospital security team runs up to see what in the world is going on. But this leads to, of course, Selina Kyle fighting against the hospital security. And we even see that Samuel Mask, who is a detective for the Villa Hermosa Police Department, is there as well. And while Selina Kyle is trying to fight against the hospital security staff, we see for Raina that an ambulance came to take away the body of her dead husband. And she is pretending in front of her sons and her security staff that she feels horrible for what had happened. Now, right before we jump into the next section, we see at the end of these couple pages that Maggie Kyle spoke for the first time in a long time. And she calls out to her sister, Selina, which leads to Selina freezing up because she has not heard her sister talk in a long time. And that gives Samuel Mask the chance to actually knock out Selina. Now, the story does jump forward to what seems like the next day, where we pick up on Edmund Krill's funeral. Now, this funeral is supposed to be sad because of his death, except we see Raina get into the limo after the funeral and tell her oldest son Raymond that she needs him to do her a favor, because we learn she is going to use Catwoman as her latest transplant. And she's being held at the mansion of the Krill family. And we see that Raina handed her son the same kind of drug we saw in our last video that gives people extra strength and durability. And she tells him that he is younger, and so he should be able to benefit from the drug rather than older people. Now we pick up with Catwoman as she is tied up at the bottom level of the mansion of the Krill family. This is where she is awoken by one of the Raina Krill henchmen working for the Krill family, and he is gloating a tad bit, thinking that him and the Krill family had finally won because they captured Catwoman. Except this leads to her breaking out of her binds and actually getting the upper hand on him and beating him down. And we know she's going to go after Raina Krill next. Now upstairs we see the Krill family having a little gathering after the funeral. But Raina gets word about Catwoman escaping, and so she then orders the guards to take her son away to force the drug down his throat. The drug again will give him enhanced strength and durability. We then see Catwoman on her way upstairs to confront Raina, and she does get stopped by Samuel Mask, who is the detective who is a dirty cop, working for Raina Krill as well. Except you see Catwoman easily take him down in a matter of seconds. Now Catwoman is able to get to the top level of the mansion, where she shuts off the lights and makes people at the gathering freak out, and Catwoman is able to take down most of the security team, but Raina sends in her son, who is now on the drugs, to take down Catwoman, and to her he should have the edge since he now has enhanced strength and durability, except Catwoman delivers one of the quickest butt kickings I have seen in a long time. Just takes him down like he was no big deal at all in a matter of seconds. This leads to Catwoman being confronted by Raina at gunpoint, and so Raina is getting ready to shoot Catwoman. Now this conclusion to this volume is weird, to be honest, because you have Raina's younger son, Adam, step in, and he has been in the story but as a background character this whole time. And he is trying to stop his mother because he had enough of her evil ways. Except while wrestling with her for the gun, of course, the gun goes off and killing Adam. And before she's able to do anything, Will, who was in our last video, who was a good cop trying to get revenge for the cops who died in our last video, comes in and arrests everybody except Catwoman because she was able to get away. This jumps forward to the next day, where we pick up with Will interrogating Sam Yamask, and we learn a few things here. That somehow Raina Krill was able to escape her arrest somehow, and now she's on the run. We then see Will telling Sam how he can make an offer for Sam to get out of jail quicker. That offer will be him helping to find Catwoman since she got away. And this is where we're going to end today's video. And so guys, please leave me a like down below and also subscribe to the channel for more content to come in the near future. Also, any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'm out of here, and I'll see you in the next comic book video. Later guys.